record to this. So we have that video that I sent you, this one right here, and I like how the video is set up because it has a menu, and if you want to go to certain moves, then you can just click down to it. You don't have to watch the whole video. You can just go to the parts that you're interested in doing. So they did a really good job having a menu on that video. But as a reminder, and I probably got the idea of my YouTube page and how it's set up kind of the same way. So on my YouTube page, under playlists, the Tai Chi playlist, it has all of the tutorial videos and may use a different language. So I think all the resources that we can get our hands on are good. The way I talk about it, the way Dr. Lamb talks about it are different, and that's good because when we hear things in different ways, one way will reach us and help us understand things better. So I like having the resource available. I know I'm going to start opening and closing my hands as I'm talking, but I did add a new video this past Friday, and that is part 2. I just did the whole part 2, turned around, saying the names of the movements, and I don't know if anybody will use it, but that was something that wasn't there. I had a request from Miss Nora, who's in my Tuesday afternoon class, to put the Advanced 6 movements on YouTube. Well, the Advanced 6 movements are on there like 3 different ways. Every single movement in the Advanced, which is what we're doing in this class now, every one of those are already on there. She just must not have seen it, or it may not have been on her tablet. So I thought, well, this week I want to make sure I let everybody know that those playlists are there. If you watch them and you think, I wish Jennifer would do whatever video, that may not be on there, or maybe you watch it and you go, I think you can do that again, because the way I talk about the movements, the way I teach it, it's changed over the years. So it may be I'm doing it better now. So I'm not watching those videos. They're not made for me. They're made for you. So y'all let me know what you need, and I'm happy to accommodate your needs. So part 2 is on there. We don't learn part 2 in this class. That's an advanced class. Sharita's on Friday's class. She knows. But you could always watch it just for funsies. It doesn't last very long. All right, let's get in our stable stance. Feet shoulder width apart. We're thinking about our posture. And even, yes, our posture like a string that's pulled up and down. Our shoulders are relaxed. But also think about your tail end. Pulling that tail in under helps with that strength and posture of holding our body versus poking it out and causing pressure in our lower back. And so you may not even realize it or think about it, but think about it, how you're holding your whole body, because sometimes we'll be holding it in a way that can cause tension. And so reviewing and going through and just pulling that tail up and under, say, oh, I feel some relief in my lower back. I didn't realize I was poking it out like that. All right, so let's begin with our warm-up movements. Oh, we're breathing as we go slow, smooth, and continuous, even in our warm-ups. Also think about gentle resistance as you pull and push those hands away from your chin and chest. Now let's go side to side. Take any opportunity that you can practice our principles in our movements. Anytime you practice principles, you're going to pull out those benefits. And you may have a goal for Tai Chi. Your goal may be to improve your balance and coordination. But as long as you're practicing principle, it's going to strengthen your muscles, which strengthened muscles help improve balance and coordination. You're going to get the benefit of reduced stress, anxiety. Moving slow and taking those deep breaths is calming to our nervous system. It doesn't take away the stress of life in general, but maybe it helps us feel a little more relaxed in ourselves. Hold on, let me catch this snot that's trying to roll down my face. I saw where the tree pollen right now is like 6,000 and like 1,000 is considered high. So if you are struggling with any kind of allergies right now, it's probably because of the tree pollen right now. If you go outside, you'll be covered in it. For our spine, separating, pushing up and down at the same time, and really thinking about lengthening our spine, giving those spaces between our, in our spine, what are those little things called? The vertebrae, spaces in between those vertebrae. Let them expand and breathe. You know, that's how we get shorter as we get older. Our spine settles. So stretch it out. Exhale as you separate. Inhale as you come back to your ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now let's take our ball. Here's Miss Iris. Let me let her in. Check her off. I don't know where Mr. Ed is today.
In front of him.
We got our ball. Let's take it side to side.
You know we're going
Remember a couple things. We want to hold that ball away from our bodies. So we don't want it here where our arms are collapsed, and we want that space in our arms and our armpit. And then we take our time for the switch, and then we come back across. We go in the direction of the hand that's on top, and this is the same movement as our waving hands and clouds. Well, not same, similar to our waving hands and clouds. Our hands are just a little different. Continue to breathe as you go side to side. Catch yourself holding your breath and then fix it. Now for our hips, shifting weight, heel forward, hands back. Pause in the middle and toe back, hands forward. Keeping that upright posture, not leaning into the movement. Switch sides. Shifting weight from side to side. Hands go in the direction of the weight shift. Think of it like a scoop. You know, you think certain words and it helps it be more smooth. A little scoop of the hands. For our knees, we have our loose fist by our hips. We're going to shift weight to one leg. Lift, tap, and punch that opposite hand. Step out, keeping both feet flat on the floor as you shift weight forward. It feels like a punch, but we're not really punching anybody. For our ankles, heel toe. Heel toe. Big toe, little toe. Ooh, I feel that all the way up my leg, all the way into my hip. Reminded how everything really is so connected. All right, give yourself a nice shake. We are ready to go through our movements. And we'll do what we've been doing, where we do our basic 6, we'll do our advanced 6, we'll put them together. If there's any certain move that you want to specifically go over, whether it be in any of it, beginner or advanced, then you let me know, we'll go over that. If you don't have anything, then we'll continue to practice. Week 12 today, and so we're in a great place to really experience our Tai Chi movements. So let's begin with our basic 6. Getting in our stable stance. I'll call out the names for you. And commence. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Close it out. So one thing that did come to mind as I'm doing commencement is the wrist movement that you don't necessarily see because I have my back turned to you. But when you bring your hands up, you see my fingers are more pointed towards the ground. And then when I bring my hands down, I kind of flick my wrist and my hands are more pointed up. And you see how soft my fingers are. I'm not holding them rigid. Everything is really soft. Down. Out. In. So there's quite a bit of wrist movement in commencement. And again, I want to show you, then we'll go through. So see, pointed down and up. And just let them flow with the movement. So see if you can get a little more comfortable with that wrist movement and your, hands being really loose. And that's one thing that's kind of interesting about Tai Chi is like we're really strong in the way we stand. We're holding our core tight and strong. Our posture is really controlled and upright. And then the way we move is slow, smooth, and continuous. And there's just a looseness to it. So you're kind of hard and soft at the same time. And that's that yin and yang, that little picture that's on our t-shirt. That's what that is. That an example of yin and yang, those opposites that go together. Alright, so let's go through our basic 6 again. Again, I'll call out the names. And commence. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Close it out. One more time. Basic 6. Commence. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. All right, any parts of that basic 6 that you want to go over? Anything you have questions about that you may not be able to see when I'm turned around? Just like the flick of the wrist that I mentioned. That might be something that you miss. Y'all feel good about basic 6? All right. Advanced 6. Of course, when we do our advanced 6, we go to the left first and then we go to the right. So I move over here so I stay in camera. We're coming from open and close. Brush knee left. Play the loop. Hairy punch. Block and close. Push the tiger. Open, close. Brush knee. Play the loop. Hairy punch. Block and close. Push the tiger to the front. Open, close. Close it out. I just always find it amazing how short Advanced 6 gets after you've learned it and practiced it. All right, let's do it again. Advanced 6, starting with brush knee left. Play the loop. Hairy punch. Block and close. Push the tiger. Open, close. Brush knee. Play the loop. Hairy punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger to the front. Open, close. Close it out. So as we have learned our movements and we're tweaking and getting better at our movements, again in Advanced 6, I want to remind you of your hands and your wrist and how soft they are through those movements. You know, the fight that we're not really going to have, everything is just really soft. You know, you don't see any tension in my fingers. Brush. You see how soft my hand is. When I turn, it's just, there's that flick of the wrist that happens, and that was kind of an exaggeration. But as we go through it again, I want you to really pay attention to your wrists. If you can. If you're still thinking about what the movements are, that's fine. Be wherever you are. I just like to throw new things at you to think about. So, soft and loose in our hands as we go through our movements. Brush knee left. No tension. Play the loop. Hairy punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. Open, close. Brush knee right. Play the loop. Hairy punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. Open, close. Close it out. Anything in particular you want to go over with those moves? Alright. You know, I've talked to you the past several weeks about different things. One being hand movement with weight shift. Right? We talked about that last week. We've been through our principles pretty good. Focusing on one thing at a time. You know, today the details of our wrist and our hands, you know, for just not forgetting those parts of our body too. We don't want tension anywhere. We're a no tension zone. So we'll just practice. We'll go through all of our movements and just continue to practice. And y'all let me know what you need from me to be better Tai Chi people. Alright, so from the top all the way through Basic 6 and Advanced 6. We're breathing, we're upright, we have good posture. We know slow, smooth, and continuous. We think about those transition parts of our movements, whether they're within a movement or from one movement to the next, and we don't want to ever be in a hurry. We want to take our time and give full respect to each and every part of each movement. We want our joints to be soft. We're thinking about our knees. We're not locking our knees. We're not locking our elbows. We're giving space for our armpits to breathe. Heck, even our tongue, that little spot behind your teeth, put your tongue there as you do Tai Chi. I don't know what that does, but that does something. I'll figure it out and I'll let y'all know, but do that. Put your tongue in that little spot behind your teeth. And if y'all know, y'all can tell me, because I forget. I just remember that that's important. Put my tongue right there. All right. And commence. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Brush knee. Play the loop. Parry punch. Block and close. Push the tiger. Open, close. Brush knee. Play the loop. Parry punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. Open, close. Close it out. Find yourself getting better and better? I want to look up why you put your tongue right there. Do y'all know? I put my tongue. No, I don't want to know why it's stuck to my teeth. That's no. Why did I put the tongue on? I know there's a reason. I didn't make that up. Come on, Googles. Give me some answer. It supports healthy dental alignment, jaw structure, and breathing. It assists with, it keeps your airway open. That's what we need. That's the main thing, especially for Tai Chi. Of course, it maintains oral muscle strength. Very good. So it has to do with our breathing. When our tongue is in that space, it encourages nasal breathing. Which, when we breathe through our nose, the air is filtered in a different way than whenever we breathe through our mouths. So that's a good practice as long as your nose isn't stopped up. Alright, I'm going to turn on, just always willing to learn new things. And sometimes I know things, but I don't even know why I know things. So it's good to revisit. Alright, let's go through it again. Here is our song, as we call it. And commence. Take your time. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands and clouds. Remember, we do 6. Six turns or 6 steps, whichever way you look at it. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands and clouds. Advance 6. Starting with brush knee. Play the loop. Parry punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. Open, close. Brush knee. Play the loop. Parry punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. Open, close. Close it out. Somehow that was a little too fast. So what do? We regroup and try again and go a little bit slower this time. And commence. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands and clouds. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands and clouds. Advance 6, starting with brush knee. Play the loop. Carry punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. Open, close. Brush knee. Play the loop. Carry punch. Lock and close. Push the tiger. Open, close. So what did I do different that time? Or I can only speak for myself, so y'all may have gotten it 100% right, and I was the one that was a little fast. But what did I do different? I paid more attention to those transition moments that I was talking about. You know, when I went through the waving hands and clouds, I took a little time there, here. Take a little time with that transition. Not being in a hurry. You know, I play the lute and just give it that little pause before I went into the parry, and punch. Just taking those little extra moments to breathe and just settle at the end of the movements made it to the perfect ending. And so it's not necessary to do it to the exact pace of the music, but it's a great test to see if we're going too fast. Now, I know some of my students well enough to know that they have physical issues. And so some people have a bad knee, some people have a bad hip, you know, that they just have pain in their body pretty consistently. And so when I tell you to slow down, when I tell you to empty step before that weight transfer, leaving weight on one leg longer, that's really hard to follow if you're in pain on a certain joint. So you may find yourself getting off of a leg faster than what maybe you should in how Tai Chi is prescribed for your own safety. And that's 100% okay. So just know if you find that you're going a little bit faster because of a reason like that, that's okay. You're taking care of yourself. You're modifying in the places that you need to modify. Because Lord knows I don't want you to be in more pain. Or I don't want you to fall while trying to keep weight on a pained joint. Every now and again I'll get pains in my body, and I always think it's God telling me to be mindful of the people that I serve, and that you may have pain in different places, and it really does affect how you move. And so I just want to acknowledge that as we learn, and I try to push y'all to follow these principles and really think about our principles. So let's do it again, and I'm not going to talk at all. So you just do your pace, kind of test yourself and what you know. So I'm going to turn it back to our song. All right, here we go. And begin. Advanced 6. That felt really good to me. Why? Because I got to experience mental quietness, going through those moves in a relaxed state. Let's give ourselves a nice fist massage we're getting a lot of practice, and we are working these muscles more and more each week, I feel like, because we're getting so much practice. You know, you think about in the beginning of class and how we were, you know, going through each move and learning each move at the time, making sure you knew the pieces and parts of each move. As we built on, you know, we were progressive through those movements. We didn't have as much practice because I was talking a lot more because I have to teach it to get it across. And so if you find your body is more tired than ever in Tai Chi class, it's because we're doing a lot more. We're practicing these movements, which feels good. I feel more relaxed practicing the movements. It's those benefits. Y'all know my favorite gift of Tai Chi is increased body awareness. And the more we do it and practice body awareness, the more we set ourselves up for success as we move through the world. We're moving through the world with better posture. We're opening our stance up to be more supportive of our frame, less likely to fall. We're intentional in the way we place our feet. We're not just shuffling around, not thinking about it. We're thinking about it. One more. I don't think we did the tension. Let's gather tension and release. Another thing that goes along with body awareness. When we get tension, we notice it and we release it. It's part of our principles. And release. One more. Tense and release. And another shoulder circle. Our right fist, loose fist, we never clench our fist, representing our strength. Our left fingers all together, our friendship, our thumb in our humility. And we put those together in mutual respect. We say, Namaste.
Namaste.
Well, very good, y'all. We did it. We're doing it. And we can keep doing it for 4 more classes. So if y'all talk to Mr. Ed, tell him we missed him. And y'all let me know if you need me, okay? I hope you have a wonderful week. Enjoy the sunshine. And hopefully you're not too terribly affected by the tree pollen. Don't let it get you. All right. I'll talk to y'all next week. See you Friday, Miss Sharita. Love y'all.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.